Being the Ricardos comes out in theaters this weekend before it debuts on Amazon Prime later this month. This one stars Nicole Kidman as Lucille Ball, Javier Bardem as Desi Arnaz, and it's written and produced by Aaron Sorkin. I'm going to let you know what I think about this one and if this is a Best Picture nominee right after this. Hey everyone, it's the Outlaw John Rocha here with a review for you for Being the Ricardos. This is a non-spoiler review, I guess you could say, for Being the Ricardos, this fantastic new film here from writer-director Aaron Sorkin that features Nicole Kidman as Lucille Ball in a dynamo of a performance, along with Javier Bardem as Desi Arnaz. You get J.K. Simmons as William Frawley and Nina Arianda as Vivian Vance, along with Alia Shawkat and Tony Hale and Jake Lacey being part of this cast as well. Before I get into the review, I want to remind you all to please subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you see when we're dropping all the new content we do here on the Outlaw Nation channel. And speaking of the Outlaw Nation channel, we're also on Twitch. The Outlaw Nation, all one word. Follow and subscribe to me there. All for the watch-alongs, play-alongs, and the John and Wendy show on Fridays. And also, if you want to be part of the Patreon and have more of an interactive nature to your support of the Outlaw Nation, I can let you know about that later on in the video. But first, let's get into this review here. Let's talk about the overall premise of the movie. This basically takes place over 1 week in 1952 during the shooting of an episode of I Love Lucy in the second season. Now, during this week, there's a lot that Lucille Ball is dealing with and confronting. First, there's a story that's come out detailing Desi Arnaz, that he possibly cheated on her. And Walter Winchell, at the end of his Sunday night broadcast, accuses Lucille Ball of being a communist because her grandfather was a communist, and so possibly she may be a communist herself. And this is a big deal back in the 1950s. Also, on top of these two pressure-filled situations that Lucille is dealing with, Lucille Ball and Desi Arnaz are trying to have Lucy and Ricky have a baby on the show, much to the chagrin of the bosses over at CBS. So a lot of drama, one on top of the other, for them to deal with here throughout this 1 week in the show. Now, is it historically accurate in terms of all these things happening in 1 week? No. Did all those things happen, though, to Lucille Ball? Yes. So by putting it in a concentrated section of time, I think we as the audience are brought into this, and the stakes are raised with every interaction, every scene, every moment. So it's a brilliant decision by Aaron Sorkin to set it this way and really showcase what we've got. And speaking about what we get, let's talk about what we get in the movie and the things that I liked about the movie. And the number one thing is the acting. You know, I like to start with the acting. And Nicole Kidman is a powerhouse here. It's incredible to watch her construct the character of Lucille Ball and construct the character of Lucy Ricardo and do some of these infamous moments on set that we who watched I Love Lucy love and remember, and then also be able to create this multi-layered, complex woman in the 1950s who is essentially the alpha dog on set and what she has to negotiate and deal with as she's trying to figure out if her husband has been cheating on her and has been caught doing it, what that could do to her public image, but also her relationship, and negotiating what to do with this director who she doesn't have any respect for and having problems with, and dealing with the fact that she's been accused of being a communist. Is that going to come out? And how Desi defends her, which becomes a source of conflict between them, navigating that. And then also, as we mentioned, the idea that she's pregnant. So we're throwing that into the mix. And not to mention, this is an interracial relationship in the 1950s. And then you throw in the fact that it's really taboo to show a pregnant woman in the 1950s in a sitcom. So she was breaking ground. She was pushing the edges of the show. And she was so invested in making the show work. And the show almost becomes an escape for her as she's navigating this pressure from Desi Arnaz and the possible cheating, as she navigates the possible dissolution of her marriage, as she navigates these accusations of communism, and as she navigates trying to give Desi Arnaz a bigger stake in the show in terms of title and in terms of input. So just so much is going on here within this 1 week of concentrated time, and Nicole Kidman delivering a phenomenal performance here that should be recognized by a lot of the voting bodies in these critics organizations for sure. I don't want to leave out Javier Bardem. I think Javier Bardem does a fantastic job as Desi Arnaz. He looks nothing like Desi Arnaz, but he brings out the essence of Desi Arnaz. When he's playing Babalu and playing Cuban Pete there in the clubs, you totally believe him. You buy into it. You actually want to buy a ticket to see Javier Bardem do this. But then in the tender moments, in the vulnerable moments, in the real moments, in the connective moments with Nicole Kidman's Lucille Ball, there's so much believability here. You just want to cheer for them. You want them to succeed. You want them to figure this out. You don't want him to have been cheating on her. You really like him, and you don't don't want this to be the truth as she tries to figure out the truth herself. You don't want to see that. And that's the gift of both of them. They have such great chemistry with each other. It's so believable to see their relationship. And yes, they don't look like Lucille Ball 100% or Desi Arnaz 100%, but the energy and the essence of those two people, they are able to bring out and have them connect throughout the movie. It's incredible. J.K. Simmons, got to give a lot of love to J.K. Simmons as William Frawley, plays him as this cantankerous, old Hollywood guy who was from vaudeville. And that's easy to become a caricature, but actually J.K. Simmons gives it so many levels, even when he's needling Vivian Vance, which can be a bit uncomfortable at times, especially nowadays as we're more aware of that kind of behavior. You find out that there's a real human behind all of this. There's a real humanity behind this, and he does have affection for Nina Arianda's Vivian Vance, for Lucio Ball, for Desi Arnaz, and for the show itself, and has a real sympathy for what she is going through, Lucio Ball, with these accusations and with the stuff going on at home. And I mentioned Nini Arianda. I thought she did a fantastic job, as well as Vivian Vance. So great to see her kind of bring out the energy. Another woman who doesn't look like the character. She doesn't look like Vivian Vance, but she's bringing out the energy of Vivian Vance here in this performance and the stuff she's negotiating, right? Having a co-star who looks like, as she said, her grandfather. She's married to him, how that affects her as an actress, her self-esteem as an actress. And then there's this battle here between her and Lucille Ball in the film, because she's starting to lose weight. She's starting to kind of work out. She wants to break out from being this frumpy best friend of the main lead. And this becomes a battle between them. And the breakfast scene is all I'm going to say. The supporting cast is great. Tony Hale is fantastic as their executive producer. Alia Shawkat is fantastic as well as the only female writer. Really well done. And then when you go to the older versions of themselves with Linda Lavin and with Ronnie Cox, it's great to see them acting as they present their memories of being on the set. Let's move on to the writing and directing. Aaron Sorkin doing a fantastic job writing this film. I'm telling you, Sorkin can do multiple films, multiple styles of films. They all work. It isn't just all West Wing stuff. That's the kind of stereotype of Sorkin. But there's a lot more that he can do if you compare all the different films that he has been in. Not everything sounds like West Wing. Well, this does. This is fantastic. This is 1950s rapid fire dialogue. I imagine that Aaron Sorkin was like a kid in a candy store writing the script, getting to really bring out the Sorkinese, as people like to say, of his writing, putting it on paper there, having them go back and forth, playing around with these scenes, negotiating what's happening within the scenes, throwing in the subtle jabs within these scenes, throwing in the subtle character changes within these scenes. All of it works so well in the writing. As I mentioned, the breakfast scene is incredible. The bar is incredible. The payoff between Lucy and Desi near the end is fantastic as well. And directing the film as well. I think this is my favorite movie that Aaron Sorkin has directed. Yes, I liked Molly's Game. Yes, I liked The Trial of Chicago 7, but I think there were I think it was a bit overdone, The Trial of Chicago 7. And Molly's Game, I think he was still kind of finding his feet a little bit. And here, this is a very confident and well-paced film. All right, if there's anything to ding the film for, it's that there are some anachronisms here. There are some comments, some phrases that are uttered here in between that you're like, did they say that back then? I don't know. Did they say that? It feels like they maybe didn't. Also, there are some meta conversations that happen here between Lucio Ball and Vivian Vance and Madeline Pugh, that's Alia Shawkat's character, when they're talking about what it's like being a woman in this business at that time, being a woman. And to me, those feel like conversations that are written in 2021, not necessarily conversations that might be happening in the 1950s. But that being said, even though, you're going to notice it, you're going to feel like, oh, I see they're making a point here. And it's very meta because, people are now more open to talk about this stuff and be more aware of this stuff. Maybe it was being talked about back then, but it feels like it's a little bit out of place or a little bit ahead of its time. But that being said, that doesn't take away from the overall effect of the movie. So overall, I give Being the Ricardos 4 cowboy hats out of 5 cowboy hats. I had a really great time with this movie. Really enjoyed what we were going for, what they were trying to accomplish, what we were presented, and what we were left with when we walked out of the theater. A more fuller, more complex, more interesting picture of Lucio Ball and Desi Arnaz and their relationship. Very well written, very well directed, fantastically acted film that I think you all are going to enjoy. Nicole Kidman is a steely dynamo navigating a week from hell as Lucille Ball. Her chemistry with Javier Bardem is so damn genuine and moving that you'll feel every emotional beat of it for sure. And this is Aaron Sorkin's writing and directing at its absolute best. So if you get a chance to go see this film this weekend, let me know what you thought about it in the comments section below. Or if you see it a couple of weeks from now on Amazon Prime and you stumble upon my video, let me know what you thought about the film overall. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Also, please hit a like on this video and share it on your social media. When you like the video and share it on your social media, you're telling your friends and family, hey, the Outlaw Nation is a cool place to come and enjoy some content like reviews, trailer reactions, pre-produced videos, live videos, what have you. All of it is here on the Outlaw Nation channel. Speaking of the channel, please remember to subscribe to the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button so you see when we're dropping all the new content we do here on the Outlaw Nation channel. And if you want to follow me on Twitch or subscribe to me on Twitch, go to the Outlaw Nation, all one word, follow and subscribe to me there. And if you want to have an interactive part of the Outlaw Nation, be part of our hangouts, be out there in our Discord talking movies and whatever, talk a little Schmodown talk, but also getting into the Outlaw Nation Movie Trivia League if you'd like, then please go to the Patreon, patreon.com/John Rocha. See all the multiple tiers you can be a part of. All right, take care of yourselves. Be well. Go see Being the Ricardos and have some splaining to do with your friends. And I'll talk to you next time with another brand new review here from the Outlaw Nation.